Today is Monday, August 20th, and here's our Buoy 10 update. So I'm going to start off by just giving you a quick update on how the fishing went today, and then we're going to go through some gear. You can tell it's still a little windy, a little rough, but this is the least amount of wind I've had in an afternoon, so we're going to try and go through some gear. Quickly for the fishing report, it was definitely still slow. You either landed on them or you didn't, and it seemed like there was a group of fish way down low, a group of fish way up high, and a third group of fish right around the bridge. So basically anywhere you fished you had a chance of getting on them, but it seemed like it was real short bites, a lot like yesterday, pretty tough. Either got them or you didn't. I know yesterday and today there were a lot of guys who came back with no fish, either from letting back some tulies or some darker fish, or just not even getting fish to the boat. It's been tough. Hopefully when the tides get a little bit bigger, we'll start to see these fish move around a bit more. Talking with some of the other guys, we're thinking that just with this really light tide changes, really small exchanges, there's not enough current to get these fish active and moving to get them to actually start biting. So we're thinking that might be the case. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, but so long and short of it is there are fish around. In fact, marked a lot of them again today. Gosh, yesterday, I forgot to mention this in my update, the bite was so tough yesterday, I could not even get anchovies to bite my sabiki rig. That was unbelievable. Okay, so long and short of today, it was okay, it wasn't great. Today we ended up keeping 4 out of our potential, hopefully 6. Had a few other opportunities, let them go, usual stuff. So, gear, we're getting a lot of questions about that. Let's start out with going over the rod reel line, and then I'll talk about trolling techniques and how to get the proper angle on your gear. So let's start off with the rod, then go to the reel, then the line, down to your terminal tackle, and then I'll throw the boat in gear here and show you guys how I'm trolling. So, starting with the rod. For a rod, you're going to want to get anything from at least 8.5, really 9.5 to 10.5 is best. And the reason why is because that helps get your line out away from the boat. And when you're making sharper turns or dealing with the current, it's nice having your gear away. So this rod here is 9.5. This is what I run in my middle and stern positions. Up in the bow, I run 10.5 footers. And this one here actually is a Home Materials rod. I get a lot of questions about that. It's for a charity that I work with. So every one of these rods that gets sold gets a soldier outfitting, fishing and hunting. It's a really cool deal. So reach out to these guys at Home Materials if you're looking for a new rod, because hey, it goes to a good cause. Next, reels. This is a Daiwa line counter, but any line counter will work. Line counters are a must. Okuma, Shimano, Daiwa, doesn't matter. Line counter is a must. You want to be right on top of these fish. You need to be able to duplicate when you do get bit. So make sure you get a line counter. As for line, this is that, I've talked about it in a few updates. That's that new Tuna Blue from Maxima. I really like it a lot because, well, it's bulletproof, and also because it is high vis without being that laser beam yellow. As soon as it goes underneath the water, it disappears, but up above me, I'm partially colorblind, so that blue really stands out well for me. Okay, down to our terminal tackle. So down here, might get a little windy. See if I can tuck in again. All right, terminal gear. Get over here. I have a T-bead to try and grab some weeds. Down to a Oregon tackle slider there. See if we can get it to focus. There it is. Then a couple of stacker beads. And then this swivel right here. Focus. There it is. So Fish Field started making a bunch of their own stainless steel swivels. I've been really happy with them. So I got stainless steel swivels right there. This is a ball bearing swivel down to a snap. Tangles are the worst thing, so ball bearing swivel right there has been really helpful. Down to, this is about a 12-14 inch long bumper, and that bumper right there is actually a 150 pound Maxima. You can run the Ultra Green, Chameleon, Tuna Blue, Clear, whatever. It's just a thick piece of mono to try and keep your flasher from tangling up into your leader and your main line. And I actually did last year, if you look up on the Buoy 10 updates, you can find a video where I showed exactly how to build these bumpers and how to create the crimp and the little sleeve that goes over top of it there. Maxima actually just at ICAST just released some new color-coded crimps, which are sweet because you get a bunch of them in your tackle box. All the black ones, you don't know what size it is. The new color-coded ones are for each size. Super cool. So whether it's 150 pound, 200 pound, 80 pound, whatever bumper line size you choose to use, you'll have a crimp for it. So 12 inch, 14 inch long bumper to help prevent tangles, down to 8 inch medium sized fish flash. This is the Red October that's been doing well today. Green Machine did pretty well, but we did get a few on Red October as well. But that's what I'm using, size 8, 8 inch fish flash. There are some guys, I'll say this real quick. The 360 flasher, I had them all tied up for today and yesterday. Smaller tides. Last year, it was just, that was the only thing these fish would bite. This year, I've only caught one fish on a spinner all season, and I love spinners. And it was an 8 pound summer steelhead. So, whatever. Getting back to it, 8 inch fish flash, that's been a great way to go. The 360 flashers, I have not seen it make that much of a difference. Guys are catching on them, but guys are losing a lot of fish on them too. Okay, down to our leader. I can run about a 3 to 4 foot long leader, and this is just that 40 pound Maxima fluorocarbon. Stuff is, again, just bulletproof. I'm literally taking my hand and wrapping my hand around the leader and yarding smaller fish in. So you get into a double with coho, something like that, this stuff is just awesome. I'm not going through a fish a leader. It's just, it stands up well to it. Down to our hook setup. This is double 3/0, single points. There are a lot of different ways you can set it up. You can run a triple hook rig, you can run trebles, you can do all sorts of different things. This is just real simple here, just a little 2-hook 3/0 rig with 2 fingers spacing between the hooks. And I wish I had 2 hands to do it, but yeah, kind of. So it's 2 finger spacing between the 2 hooks. And then right above it, I put a little fish field hoochie. And the reason why I do that is because it just adds a little bit of color. And also, sometimes when the fish come up and bait strip you, they pull it off. You still got a little bit of color there. Sometimes the fish can become competitive, and a different fish, especially coho, will come over and come grab it. So that's the setup there. Let me get this into my little phone holder so that way I can go through how we're doing the trolling and getting your bait on. So 1 second. Get in there, don't drop it in the water. Stay. Ooh, scary. Don't drop in the water. Okay, let's see how this works. Don't fall in. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention dropper line. Dropper line is 20 pound and about 12, 18 inches. Oh, don't fall in. There it goes. Okay, so rigging up. Whether it's an anchovy or a herring, you know, these herring, you can cut plug them. The anchovy are a little bit smaller, so they're tough to cut plug. But all I'm doing is I'm taking my top hook of my 2-hook setup, and your top hook goes underneath the chin of the bait, and then out through the top of the head, just like that. Then your back hook, with that 2-finger spacing, you curl it up to whatever amount of spin you want on the bait. So just curl it up a little bit, then take that back hook point, see if I can hold it a certain way here so that way you guys can see. There you go, maybe. Take that back hook point and put it through the skin and pull it right back out, just like that. And there's my curl on the bait. Real simple, real easy. Now, for trolling, I always put my hooks in the water first, then get everything tangled. Okay, hooks in the water first, then the flasher, then your lead. That way nothing's tangled up. Let me throw the boat in gear here. All right, so first, before we start trolling, we got to go back to high school, talk about some geometry, Pythagorean theorem. Tilt this down a little bit. There we go. Pythagorean theorem, sides of a triangle. That's really actually important when it comes to trolling for salmon. Tilt this down a bit more. There we go. Okay. If you drop your line, if you're in, let's say 30 feet of water, you drop your line down 30 feet, you're touching bottom. If you are going at a speed where your line angle is at a 45-degree angle, that cuts that distance in half. So if you're down 30 feet, 45-degree angle, you're only down 15 feet in the water column. What I try and do is run my back rods digging in the dirt, so I get them to whatever speed on the boat I like to give my lines a little bit of angle, and then make sure those back rods are tapping, and then shallower as I go up towards the front of the boat. So again, if I have this sitting straight up and down, back up a little bit, then I'm down the exact depth that's on my line counter. As you start to create that angle, you're losing depth. So keep that in mind. Right now I'm in 26 feet of water. So I'm going to drop everything in. I'll get this repositioned here. There we are. Also, 9 times out of 10, we're trolling with the current. Especially in these smaller tides, we're trolling with the current. You don't always want to be, there you go. You don't always want to be the odd man out. So try and troll with the boats, with the current. It allows you to cover more water, get in front of more biters. So I reeled up to the rod tip here. I'm going to zero out my line counter, 000. Thumb on the spool, push down on the lever, and then let it down nice and slow. And again, we are in 24 feet of water. So I'm tapping bottom in 24 feet of water. When I get my troll speed right, I'm tapping bottom at 34 on the line counter. So again, going back to the sides of a triangle, 34, I'm tapping. So now I'm going to try and maintain my speed so that my back rods at 34 are tapping. Then my front rods might go to, say, 30, 26, or if I want to open that up, 26 and 18. So I'm tapping good here. I'm going to get back onto the motor. There we go, pop it out of that little bad boy. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on my depth. I'm sitting right here in 22 feet of water. I don't know if you can really see that there, but 22 feet of water, and I keep my sonar up, and usually my graph too, but sonar and then my structure scan. That way I'm getting a good picture of exactly what's going on. Now, I'm sitting in 22 feet of water, so yeah, my rod's digging a little bit. Come up. It's a couple of feet there. And now all I'm doing the entire time, now that I got my depth right on my back rods, is I'm maintaining my speed. So I'm constantly just working the throttle of the boat up and down. I get asked all the time, what depth on the line counter is working? How fast should I be trolling? Doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You need to make sure that you're on top of fish, trust your electronics when you do mark them, and then maintain your troll speed, maintain your presentation, that you're on top of these fish. So if we look back at my corner rod right now, so you can see it there. There you go. You see it tapping a little bit. Every once in a while, tapping bottom. Perfect. So I'm just going to try and maintain that speed until the rod folds over and we got a fish on. All right, guys, so hopefully that educates you a little bit on what I'm doing out here every single day. It's a little bit of a long video, so I'm sorry if it popped up late because it's going to take a long time to upload. Okay, time to head back to the barn and get everything ready for tomorrow. See you guys later. Bye.